It is an important night on and off the field for the Rangers family and ours here at Fox Sports Southwest as the Rangers open a 3-game series, their next to last home series of the year against the Cleveland Indians. And with a little help last night, the Rangers now 3 games ahead of the Angels in the American League West race. A chance tonight for the 3rd time this year for Texas to get 20 games over 500. And welcome, Dave Barnett along with Tom Reed. Let's talk about this series first. 3 years running now, the Rangers have completely dominated this Indian team. A 4-game sweep up there early June. The dominance has continued.
Yeah, we've played well against the Indians, whether it's home or on the road. And this year it's gone exceptionally well, and the numbers really bear out, winning 6 out of 7 games. Batting average is 90 points higher. They've scored twice as many runs. They've hit almost 3 times better with men in scoring position, and the ERA is below 3 for the Rangers, over 5 for the Indians. So I guess you would have to say the domination does continue.
Well, for the Indians, they hope that their ace, Justin Masterson, can come through for them tonight. It'll be Matt Harrison on the mound for the Rangers. And all night long, we'll be showing you how you can participate in our auction benefiting the Shannon Stone Memorial Fund, honoring the Brownwood firefighter who was victimized in the tragic accident earlier this year. Baseball coming up. Drive one. Ford is the best in Texas. And by Jack in the Box. Jack's really big chicken sandwich combo is back for a limited time for only $3.99. Overcast, over 100 degrees, and a completely windless night, at least to start things off for the Rangers here against the Cleveland Indians. And as we said, this is a night in which you can participate in the auction benefiting the Shannon Stone Memorial Fund. And And during the last week, we told you about some of these items. You can bid on a VIP visit to Fox NFL Sunday. Meet all the stars of that show. Travel with the Dallas Stars. Play golf with Troy Aikman at TPC Las Colinas. A VIP Cowboys game experience. The Red River Rivalry Ultimate Tailgate. Go see Texas OU in style. We have a movie lovers package. Hollywood Red Carpet Experience. FC Dallas VIP game experience, and Texas Motor Speedway VIP experience as well. You can log on to foxsportssouthwest.com, place your bid. Other items you can bid on: Fox News Political Insider. You can be a Fox Sports broadcaster. The BCS Championship experience. Wine Country Getaway, New York City Talk Show Circuit. Texas Longhorn Meet and Greet, Mavericks Championship Lunch, Canadian Rockies Getaway, and a Fan Express trip for 2012.
That's some serious stuff. Wow.
I lost count at about 8 things I'd like to win out on, but we will be updating you, and you can participate, as we said, all night long. FoxSportsSouthwest.com. The Indians lineup today will begin with Kosuke Fukudome. Came over a couple months ago from the Cubs. Jason Kipnis is at second. Asdrubal Cabrera, career year, batting third and short. Travis Hafner is the DH. Carlos Santana is the catcher, batting fifth. Brady Sizemore in center. Shelley Duncan having a terrific second half. Left field, third baseman is Lonnie Chisenhall, and Matt Laporta bats ninth. And he will be at first base against Matt Harrison, going for his 12th win of the year.
Well, 26 starts, a nice record, a solid ERA. One of the things that's helped Matt all season long is his ability to throw his sinker and get the ground ball and a double play. He's had 29 of them. His last start was against the Red Sox. It was an excellent start. Go back a couple, the start before that was against the Red Sox, and in that start he gave up 11 hits and 7 runs in 5 innings. Got an extended rest before his next start, but he had a 2-inning relief stint that went really well in between it. Then he came back in Boston and faced the Red Sox again, and that's when he shut them down, a couple of runs on 7 innings. Matt really felt that that rest helped him, and hopefully he'll remain strong coming down the stretch. Defensively,
Hamilton, Chavez, and Murphy, the Ranger outfield. Beltre, Andrews, Kinsler, and Moreland, the infield. And Mike Napoli is behind the plate. So we're set to go. Matt Harrison making only his second start in 20 days. Third start ever against the Indians. He is winless in 2 starts with a .506 earned run average. Only 10 2/3 innings in those outings. And the first pitch is in there for a strike to Fukudome. This one down the line in left field. Hamilton jogging over, has room, fair territory for the first out. Today's broadcast is on AFN, the American Forces Network, broadcasting to the U.S. Armed Forces, serving in 175 countries and aboard ships at sea. They're washing around the world in Iraq, Germany, Italy, Southwest Asia, South Korea, and Japan. Welcome. We hope you enjoy our broadcast. Thanks for everything you do for us. A 101-degree evening. And the second baseman, Jason Kipnis, swings at the first pitch, dribbles it up the first base line. Moreland steps on the bag. 2 quick outs.
Yeah, 2 pitches, 2 outs. Pop up to left and a dribbler to first.
And Harrison here at home has won 4 of his last 5 starts. And the Rangers in his starts this year are 16-10.
I think one of the smarter things that the Rangers did was give Matt that extended rest with a little tune-up in between. It was good physically, and I think it was good mentally, and just lets him come back fresh for his last 4 starts.
Well, that one a little bit low to Asdrubal Cabrera, having a career year with 22 home runs, 82 runs batted in. 18 total coming into this season. However, a bit of a slump lately. August 19th on, he's hitting just 159. Home plate umpire tonight is Laz Diaz. Wally Bell is at first, Mike DeMuro at second, and Scott Berry is at third. And a ground ball, diving stop. Beltre spins, throws off balance. A perfect strike to Moreland. How about that? 2 into 1, 2, 3 first. Gold glove stuff right there. That banner on FoxSportsSouthwest.com. Wow, what's this? Be a Fox Sports broadcaster. Meet us in the Rangers broadcast booth. Tour the production truck and attend a pregame production meeting. I guess we'll have to have one just for our auction winner. And you can hang out with Noxie during the game and appear on Rangers Insider. Also, the BCS Championship experience. Airport for 2 to New Orleans, 2 nights hotel in New Orleans, and 2 tickets to the BCS Championship game next January 12th. So we hope you log on to FoxSportsSouthwest.com. Look over all those items and participate in benefiting the Shannon Stone family. Here is Ian Kinsler. Justin Masterson, like Matt Harrison, 11-9, going for his 12th win tonight.
Yeah, he's had a very similar season. He's having an excellent season, as a matter of fact, a 3.01 ERA. His last 4 starts, his ERA is 4.94. But you look at the overall season for Justin Masterson, and it's been really good. Against the Rangers in his career, it hasn't gone that well. He's a kind of a sidearm to 3/4 sinker ball pitcher. Throws a slider along with it. His fastball, his sinker will reach the mid-90s occasionally, usually in the lower 90s. Gets a lot of good sinking action, and when it's on, should get a lot of ground balls. There's a good 96-mile-an-hour high sinker. When you look at his year this year compared to last year. Last year he threw 180 innings, gave up 197 hits. This year he's got 20 more innings. He's over 200 with fewer hits than innings pitched. His walks are down and his strikeouts are up. So it's been a big step forward for Masterson as he kind of established himself as a top of the rotation guy rather than a bottom of the rotation guy last year.
Full count and high for ball 4. So Ian Kinsler on to begin the Ranger first. And now Elvis Andrus will be followed by Josh Hamilton to left. Michael Young cleaning and hitting the ace tonight with Adrian Beltre batting 5th and playing 3rd. David Murphy is in right. Napoli catching, batting 7th. Moreland and Chavez rounding out Ron Washington's lineup tonight. And Here is Elvis, who has 5 for 8 history so far against Masterson. And in fact, Elvis hits Cleveland like he hits no other team. He is in all 20 games he has ever played against the Indians at a .403 clip. That is the longest stretch by any Indian opponent at the beginning of a career.
He's about halfway to the streak that Vladimir Guerrero had against the Rangers. Can't remember what that one ended up, but it was a similar kind of streak, only 15 or 20 games longer.
Elvis taking some walks, no doubt helping him get better pitches to hit. 11 walks in his last 10 games.
That's a huge step forward. If you can continue that the rest of the year and into next year, now you really become a solid top of the order guy. You don't have to hit .310 to have a .360 on base percentage if he can up his walks by 25 or 30%.
1 ball and 2 strikes. As I said, the Rangers were able to increase their lead since they last were on the field here on Sunday afternoon. Oakland beating the Angels yesterday 6-3, so the margin is 3 over LA.
That's the pitch to have success you have to take against Masterson, that sinker that sinks out of the strike zone. But all you can do is beat that thing into the ground. But if you take it, it's usually a ball.
Angels tonight at Oakland. Jerome Williams on the mound for LA as Andrus fouls that one off as well. And Guillermo Moscoso, near no hit man, will be pitching for Oakland. Sole possession of first place in the West for 106 of the last 109 days. 69 straight days alone atop the division. 7 more wins. They will have back-to-back 90-win seasons for a franchise first. That has never happened, even during those late 90s runs of 3 division championships in 4 years. Trying to put together a winning streak as Kinsler takes off, and it's foul back. Last 8 games, the Rangers have alternated wins and losses. Back and forth between 18 over, 19 over 500. But from the Angel standpoint, they are running out of time. Just over 2 weeks left in the year. Swinging for the out, but the throw by Santana way high and late. And Ian Kinsler has his 25th stolen base. And his 24th straight this season. That is a club record.
There's a Gondo throwing out in the bullpen. Chances are he didn't feel like throwing when it was 105 this afternoon. He's getting his. Oh, they got him.
Oh, wow.
Caught Ian napping at second base. Quick pickoff move. Erases the man in scoring position.
Didn't sense Cabrera sneaking in behind him. As soon as he did, it was too late.
Yeah, Cabrera's in a good spot because he's playing Hamilton to pull anyway. Wasn't like he had to come from his regular shortstop position.
So instead of scoring position, 1 out, bases empty, 2 outs. For Josh Hamilton, you want to have men on when Josh steps up in this matchup. 6 for 9 in his career, 2 homers and a double. Broken bat. Masterson jumping out of the way, and the throw is late. It's an infield hit for Josh.
Well, Chisenhall, I think he thought he had more time. But when Hamilton hits a ball like that, you don't have time for that extra step, pound the ball in your glove. You got to pick it up and fire it. Josh hit it right off the end of the bat. Broke the bat, as a matter of fact. Masterson jumping out of the way of that spear that's coming at him. Chisenhall fields it, takes a step and throws, and didn't have that much time to do that.
Yeah, not really that tough a call for Wally Bell.
No.
So a walk, a strikeout, an infield hit. Michael Young fouls the first pitch back. And evidently that was Ogando just getting in some work.
Well, Ogando's throws between starts, and you know, this afternoon when it's 105, a little bit different throwing then than it is tonight without the sun out. Well, chances are that's what was going on out there. Just getting his work between starts.
Michael looking for his first hit ever against Justin Masterson. 194 hits, 6 from yet another 200 hit campaign. And 1 hit behind Adrian Gonzalez for the major league lead coming into today. Opposite field, slashed into the stands, and Michael has benefited from a late scoring change, giving him officially 194 hits. On Friday, he reached on what was initially called an error against Brandon McCarthy. MLB's Committee for Scoring Reviews looked at that and changed it from an E1 to a base hit. And that sails way up high, 2 balls and 2 strikes. So that gives Michael 194 for the year. Hamilton to lead off first. Masterson very deliberate with men on. And up the middle. That is through for a base hit. Hamilton makes the turn, will go to third. So here in the Ranger first, a walk, 2 singles, and the pickoff of Kinsler at this point, preventing what would have been a run if everything had unfolded the way it has.
Good job by Michael of hitting a pretty good slider down and away. Reaches out and just strokes it over second base into center field. Josh easily goes to third base. 2 outs, you don't have to wonder if that ball is going to be caught on a line drive or not. The minute the ball's hit, you're taking off. But gives Adrian Beltre a chance to stay hot and drive in a run, which he's been since he came back off the disabled list.
Well, he sure has. Sunday, it is 300th and 301st career homers, a week after collecting his 2,000th hit. That is foul, and it's 0-2. For leaderboard, this is a career home runs by active third baseman. Third base being their primary position. You've got Chipper Jones. You've got Aramis Ramirez, Scott Rowland, and Adrian Beltre. Knocked down by Masterson, but he recovers in time to throw out Beltre. The Rangers with a walk and 2 base hits. Unable to score in the first, 0-0. Jones.
Yeah, Dave, thanks very much. Yeah, we pulled Emily out of maternity leave for this, and it's great to have her here. It's the Shannon Stone auction that we're doing for the Shannon Stone Memorial Fund, and there's a chance for you to bid on great auction items throughout the course of the night. It's really simple. FoxSportsSouthwest.com is the place to go, and then go there, and you can make a bid anytime between now and 11 o'clock. Lowest starting bid is $250. Highest starting bid is $2,000, although those packages that you see listed there are over $2,000 now. Bidding will go in 100 increments, $100 increments, until we get up over $5,000, and then they start at $200. And you can also just make a donation at TexasRangers.com/fund if you want to donate to the Shannon Stone Memorial Fund. And I know, Em, you've been checking up on how these things are going.
Already up to $25,000 as far as the amount of money we've raised. Of course, the auction items will continue to go up throughout the evening. That is what we want. $3,100 is the bid right now for the Golf with Troy Aikman, which is my favorite experience out there. To have 4 hours with Troy Aikman, yeah, I think a lot of people would take that. So that's at $3,100. The Cowboy Suites at $3,100, and also the Fox NFL Sunday, that visit, the trip to LA, that package is at $3,100 too. We want those bids to continue to go up, of course, all for a great cause, the Shannon Stone Memorial Fund, and we're pleased to be here with you guys tonight, and glad to be with y'all during a Rangers broadcast.
Yeah, it's great to have Emily here. We got lots of star power here too. We'll talk with Jeff Russell later in the game. Kevin Mench is here. Lots of other stars, Gary Reasons. We'll be chatting with those guys and trying to get you to bid these auction items up as we go on, Dave. But now let's get it back to you and Tom.
All right, John and Emily, thanks very much. Second inning beginning with Travis Hafner. And a 1-2 count on the Indians' DH. Just came off the disabled list on Sunday. He was there with a strained right foot. It has been something of a lost year for Hafner. Barely played half their games, and he strikes out to begin the top of the second.
Good pitch by Matt. Good velocity, too. He's popped a couple of fastballs so far in the game at 95 miles an hour. And when he keeps the ball in like this and gets it to sink just a little bit and come in a little bit more, he can really tie up the left-hand hitters. Manny Acta out talking to Las Diaz. Not sure if... I don't know what he's doing, to be honest with you. Santana's the next hitter, so he's stepping up there to hit. Might have just been checking the lineup to make sure everything was in order.
Odd, but
Santana Sizemore more the next two hitters, and one's up at bat and one's on deck, so it's not an injury or anything like that.
If that was the case, I guess better to make sure.
Yeah, definitely. Don't want to bat out of turn. Haven't seen that. I can't remember the last time that happened, or if I've even ever seen it in a game we've done.
I don't think I've ever seen it in any game.
Yeah, I know it's happened before, but I've read about it, but I don't think I've ever seen it.
Well, strike one there on the check swing to Santana. Much of the year he's been their cleanup hitter. Beltre backs up. Still manages to make that play with ease.
So you've got to have a good arm to make that play like that. There's some third basemen have to charge that ball and have a shorter throw with their momentum going toward first base. Adrian has the luxury of being able to wait back on his heels, almost on the outfield grass, to get an easier hop, because he can do that. Throw it all the way across the diamond with something on it accurately. Not every third baseman can come close to fielding a ball that deep on their heels and throw it like that. That's one of the big benefits that he has because of his arm.
So here is Grady Sizemore, and he takes a strike. And Matt Harrison firing strikes, 14 of his first 16 pitches. Sizemore in an 0 for 15 slump as he begins this series. Activated off the disabled list September 5th. As they were the right knee contusion and surgery for a sports hernia. Ground ball to Kinsler, and the first 6 Indians, all retired by Matt Harrison.
People watching inside the stadium, whether it's from club level, there's suites, anything. There are computer terminals set up a couple places here at the ballpark. You go on to foxsports.com, then click on the Shannon Stone Memorial Fund icon and bid away on some great packages. What are you bidding on?
Golf with Troy Aikman.
Oh, very nice. Golf with Troy Aikman right here. Okay, home plate, that's where you need to come to bid on the items. Also, club level, 222. 222. Good luck on the Troy Aikman golf outing there, buddy. Dave?
Home run, David Murphy. It's 1-0.
David has been in an excellent streak. He's just getting big hits, hitting the ball well. And as Ron Washington said, when everybody's healthy, David Murphy's got a spot in the lineup. Masterson, who has a good sinker, didn't get that one to sink. That thing was right down the middle of the plate. And when he keeps it down and it sinks, it's hard to do that. But when it's belt high to a hot hitter like David, that's what can happen. Masterson had only given up 7 home runs in 200 innings.
Napoli slashes that one to Laporta. He feeds Masterson for the first out. 384 feet for David Murphy's 10th home run of the year.
Mike Bollinger back with the ball club. That's Mike on our left, David's right. It's minor league hitting instructor with the Rangers.
Rangers now 3 base hits against Masterson. They had Hamilton's infield hit. Michael singling through the middle with 2 outs, but Beltre bounced to the mound to end that threat. And now Mitch Moreland. Mitch in the weekend series, 3 for 9, couple of doubles, drove in 3. Maybe started to come around. A streaky season for Mitch. He's had some very hot spells. Right now trying to get back into one of those. And that might be a start right there. Up the middle on a 2-0 pitch.
The Rangers are definitely getting some base runners. They had 3 base runners in the first inning, a walk and a couple of singles, now a home run and a single in the second inning. That's a pretty good swing so far in the game.
Well, everybody in that dugout ought to be trying to get as close as they can to David Murphy. Whatever magic dust he has settled on him, maybe he can share the wealth. What a last 3 weeks or so it has been for Murphy. Andy Chavez.
Well, you look at the ball club right now, and it's kind of the same thing that was happening last year. All the guys were getting healthy. It was all gearing up for the last couple of weeks of the season. And you've got Beltre back in the lineup, swinging the bat well. You've got David Murphy. It's not a health issue, but getting a chance to play and getting hot. Got Nelly Cruz back on the active roster. He'll be worked into the lineup with a couple of weeks left. He should be at, right in mid-season form by the end of the season. And so it's all falling into place right now, just like you wanted to late in the season. The Rangers aren't looking at any injuries that might affect them the last week.
This hit high into right center field. A lot of room out there. Sizemore grabs out number 2.
They've had a chance to rest Matt Harrison by skipping a start. The same with Ogando, which should help both those guys. The bullpen is deep and talented. And so as you come down the stretch with a 3-game lead and 3 games looming at the end of the season in Anaheim, you like the way things are shaping up right now for the Rangers. You still have to go out and win, and of course anything can happen, but you like your team to be headed in the right direction as far as performance goes, as far as health goes, and right now that's the case for the Rangers.
This is currently the highest bid the VIP Cowboys game experience, a little over $3,400. Get your bid in on FoxSportsSouthwest.com. Ian Kinsler began the game with a walk, stole second, and that was his 24th straight within this season. Breaks his own Rangers single season record, and then was promptly picked off second base. Turned out to be a very key play. Andrews struck out. Hamilton and Young singled. But Josh did so with the bases empty and 2 outs. And then Beltre retired to end that first. If there's any Ranger who can compare streaks with David Murphy, might well be Ian Kinsler. 3rd in the league in batting. 7 homers is first. 12 RBIs, tied for 3rd. Swinging away at 3-0. And Cabrera ranges into the hole to get the inning-ending force. But the Rangers get on the board on David Murphy's 10th home run of the year.
You're going to see a couple of things here that you can bid on to benefit the Shannon Stone family tonight. One of these things is one of my favorites, the Red River Rivalry Tailgate, Ultimate Tailgate Experience. If you have ever been to Texas OU, it is an experience. Not only is it great football, you get to go to the Cotton Bowl and the fair, and it's worth bidding on just so you can get a Fletcher's Corny Dog. But this is for 14 people. That includes food and non-alcoholic beverages, plus 4 tickets to the game, and those tickets are very hard to come by. Back to you, Dave.
All right, and Shelley Duncan at the plate takes strike one. And Harrison has retired the first 6. Only 1 ball out of the infield so far. Shelley Duncan comes up sizzling in the month of September, hitting .314, 5 homers, 10 runs batted in, has scored 8 times. 2 of those home runs a few days ago against Justin Verlander. Reaches to pop that one out into medium right field for Murphy.
Good results with an off-speed pitch.
Matt Harrison out 21 pitches, 17 for strikes. And here's the third baseman, Lonnie Chisenhall.
Dave, I got about a week's worth of announcements tonight, so you're going to have to bear with me a little bit while I try to mix these in. All right. Do I have your permission?
We got plenty of time.
Okay,
it's
good.
a long night. Go right ahead.
All right. Karen McBride would like to say hello to Catherine Seaman. She's 84 years old and watches every game on TV, win or lose. Thank you, Catherine, for being such a great fan. We have a lot of fans like that. Senior citizens who watch every inning of every game, and can't tell you how much we appreciate that. Also, the cake ball queen, Becky Farrell from Bedford, sent up some chocolate Snickers cake balls. Thank you very much, Becky. Got another huge pound cake from Janie's Cakes. They don't last very long. Thank you very much for that. James Evans is 91 years old, longtime season ticket holder for the Rangers. Attended every game for a number of years. He watches all the games now with his close friend, Sammy Motley Coates, whose 90th birthday was on September 9th, and we missed it. But we're only a few days late. And Sammy, I hope you're watching the game tonight with James. And if you are, happy belated 90th birthday. And thank you for being such a great fan. Okay, Dave, you can talk for a while.
1-2 pitch.
See, that's the timing of it right there.
Chisenhall grounds out to Beltre. Well, for the rest of this month, Metro PCS is giving your child a chance to take C.J. Wilson to school. Log on to metropcs.com/take-a-player for your chance to win. Metro PCS, wireless for all. C.J., most of the ball club taking part in the Michael Young Family Foundation Base Bowl tournament on Sunday. What a week. The player of the week in the American League. 2-0, 17 innings. Scoreless, 4 walks, 17 strikeouts. For my money, though, even more impressive was watching C.J. bowl. The best way I can describe it is as that shot by Laporta goes up the middle, and there's the first Indian hit, first Indian base runner. C.J. Wilson turned his back to the pins and in the form of a long snapper, if you can picture this with me, rolled the ball backwards back through his legs and did better with that style than just about any ball I sent down there the conventional way.
Well, yeah, see, I happened to be in CJ's group, so I got a good look at what you're talking about. He didn't want to bowl left-handed because he didn't want to mess his finger up or do anything, and that's a smart thing. He tried right-handed. That didn't work. And he'd settled on that, and he actually bowled 2 straight strikes doing it that way, which not many of the rest of us did that. You're right.
Now, you also had Darren O'Day, who, like CJ, well, he said, if I can't pitch for this team right-handed, I don't think I should be out here bowling right-handed. So he bowled left-handed and looked like he's been doing it his entire life. He had never done it before that day. Snap throw, and Laporta's back.
I once got beat in a bowling match by Dave Oliver, who used to be our third base coach. He's now a consultant for the Rangers. He beat me by about 50 pins bowling between his legs. Rolled up to the line, pulled the ball behind his back and rolled it between his legs and rolled like about 160. The other guy that was a good bowler was John Burkett.
Oh, yeah.
John's a little kind of out of everybody's league. He actually bowled in a couple of tour events. But that really turned out to be a fun night. You looked around the bowling alleys that night, and Michael went to every alley, got his picture taken, talked to everybody, and everybody I bumped into had a great time. Food was great. A lot of us hadn't bowled a bowling ball in a long time, but no one really cared.
Well, if all you did was watch CJ and Darren O'Day, you had your evening's entertainment.
Yeah.
But understand that it raised quite a good sum of money for the Michael Young Family Foundation. It's an annual event now.
We got a great big batch of Crazy Crunch popcorn. That came from Jerry and Mary Smith from Ennis. They were here to see their granddaughter, Kendall Morris, throw out the first pitch. If Kendall Morris sounds familiar to you, she's Miss Texas. She did a great job throwing out the first pitch. And Mary did a great job making that crazy popcorn, Crazy Crunch popcorn. She bets that you can't eat only one, Dave.
Soft line drive. Base hit for Fukudome. And with 2 outs, back-to-back singles now by Laporta and Fukudome, and Jason Kipnis will try and get the Indians at least a tie game here. Our total sum, our running total at this point, up to 31,156. And then we're not even 2.5 innings into our benefit tonight for Shannon Stone and his Memorial Fund.
Well, there's a lot of charity functions where you see auction items, and all of them are great. I don't know if I've ever seen one where there were more quality things available than this one we're doing tonight.
Here's Kipnis, who grounded to first on the first pitch he saw. Second round pick 2 years ago out of Arizona State. Consensus All-America, Pac-10 Player of the Year for the Sun Devils. There's a good breaking pitch for a strike, and it's 1-1. Out of Northbrook, Illinois. First 2 years at the University of Kentucky. He was suspended as a sophomore, then transferred to Tempe, finished up there. The Padres actually drafted him in the 4th round in 08. Arizona State instead, and then moved up a couple of rounds to the 2nd round of the 09 draft, and serves that one up foul, slicing into the seats. 2-2.
I want to congratulate the Grand Prairie Air Hogs. They beat St. Paul 8-5 last night to win the American Association title. Winning pitcher was Jason Jennings, former Ranger pitcher. And Herman Duran had 3 hits in that ball game. Plays in the infield for them. So congratulations to the Air Hogs for a great season.
3-2 now to Kipnis. '21st pitch of the inning coming up right here, or in a moment.
Also want to thank Kim Brown. She's the festival chair for the Chocolate for the Soul Festival in Crum, Texas on October 1st. All the proceeds go to global and local charities supported by the First United Methodist Church in Crum. They've chosen the victims of the recent wildfires in Texas as one of their primary beneficiaries. Kim's the one that sent up the chocolate bacon last year. That was one of the items at their festival.
Ball 4, and the bases are loaded.
Yeah, that's probably not what you were trying to do with Kipnis, with Cabrera coming up next. You got a left-hand hitter against a left-handed pitcher, and you walk him to load the bases. In fact, the last 2 hitters, Fukudome and Kipnis, both left-handers. But no problem if you get Cabrera right here.
Cabrera in the first retired on a terrific play by Adrian Beltre. Hot shot that had Adrian actually back up a little bit and then fired a strike over across the diamond. That retired the first 8 before the Laporta single, the Fukudome single, now the walk to Kipnis. And first ball swinging. Cabrera sends that one foul.
Also want to thank our friends Russ and Melody Nickel and all their staff at MR Pigs, great barbecue restaurant in Ida Bell, Oklahoma. Melody sends us a barbecue feast about 6 or 7 times a year, and we always appreciate that. Thank you very much, Melody.
Oh, 2. Before I forget, Tom, I think I'm speaking for a large segment of our audience when I say chocolate covered bacon.
Yeah, she actually sent that up, and we had along with some chocolate covered pork rind. But that's that Chocolate for the Soul Festival in Crum, Texas. So they're famous for all sorts of chocolate treats. It's going to be on October 1st this year. Drop by if you like chocolate.
I tried to climb the ladder there on Cabrera, wouldn't bite.
I didn't try the pork rinds last year, but I did try the chocolate covered bacon. It's actually pretty good.
Cabrera, 22 homers, 82 RBIs. Tops for the Indians, but that was called inside. It's 2-2. Harrison and Napoli both thought that was the end of that.
I think the only one that thought that was a ball was Las Diaz. I think Cabrera thought it was a strike too. No, it wasn't. Maybe everyone thought it was a strike. The only one that was right was Las Diaz, though.
And right into the target, though.
Maybe we were just doing wishful thinking.
Beltre again takes care of Cabrera. And the Indians, with 2 hits and a walk, leave them loaded. Texas Ford dealers, by Geico Insurance, by AT&T, and by Whataburger. Dave Barnett and Tom Grieve, Rangers Ballpark. 1-0 Texas into the bottom of the third, where Andrews, Hamilton, and Young will hit against Justin Masterson. Only run of the game, leadoff home run. First pitch David Murphy saw in the second. And strike 1 to Elvis, who struck out his first trip. Rangers have won 6 of the first 7 meetings against the Indians this year, 8 of the last 9 overall. And the last 3 years, 18 and 22. One of the most one-sided season series the Rangers have going since 2009. Two more here to wrap up the homestand tomorrow and Thursday nights. And a late flight, early morning arrival in Seattle to start a series there for the weekend. That trip will move on to Oakland next Tuesday through Thursday. Back home for Seattle for 3 before winding up at Anaheim for the final 3 games of the regular season. And Andrews bounces out to Masterson. And let's check in with Emily Jones.
Hey guys, pleased to be joined by a couple of former Texas Rangers here to help such a great cause tonight. Kevin Minch and Jeff Russell. And Jeff, let's start with you since you are the elder statesman. Just talk about, I'm sure Kevin was happy for me to say that. I know. Tell me why you wanted to be a part of this event.
It's just a great cause. And, anytime a tragedy happens around here in our house, it's good that we can support and try to raise money for that family. It's dear to our hearts. And
Minchie, nice for you guys as a Texas Ranger family to all kind of come together for situations like this.
Yes, it is. It's always good, especially when something bad happens for the community and the players, the organization itself to rally around and to help that family and anything else that happens tragic around here, to the best they can to help improve, improve all the mistakes that were made, I guess, with the railings and whatever they can do just to help just everybody move forward.
And so many cool experiences up for bids tonight. Jeff, I want to ask you your favorite.
I think the Wine Country Tour, my wife Melanie and myself have never been out to the wine country, and I think we want to enjoy that. A little spa service out there, and Sonoma's the best place to go.
Absolutely. That would be a great one. $1,700 is the bid for that one. Minchie, what about you?
I'm going for the BCS Championship experience. I've never been to New Orleans, so I would look forward to doing that. I'm not a big wine guy.
Would you take your wife?
No.
Man, okay. Well, Jeff's taking his wife. Minchie's going without the wife and the kids to the BCS Championship game. That one is at $2,600 as of right now. So get your bids in, raising money for a great cause. Guys, back to you.
All right. Well, a home run bid by Michael Young. Tracked down by Fukudome. The Rangers go in order in the third, still leading 1-0. Inning, and our pleasure to welcome Nolan Ryan to the broadcast. Nolan, 1-0, looked pretty close to becoming 2-0 there a moment ago, didn't it?
Yeah, I thought we had something there, but just didn't quite get there. But it's interesting tonight. If you look at the flags, there is absolutely no breeze whatsoever. It's as still a night as I've seen here, and it's 100 degrees. So go figure.
Yeah, it's extremely unusual circumstances here, and except for a couple bobbles there in the third, Matt Harrison has been spot on. What's been your impression of him so far?
Well, he's had good command of his fastball, and he's been getting his breaking ball over. So I think that's been the difference. He got struggled a little there in that last inning getting the bases loaded, but his stuff's good, so I think he's going to be fine.
Here's Travis Hafter, who takes ball one. Hafter struck out his first time up. He'll be followed by Carlos Santana and Grady Sizemore here in the Indians' fourth. And 2 balls and no strikes. Nolan, Matt going just the second start in 20 days. Do you think that the policy of giving the occasional rest to Harrison as Ogando has worked out the way you hoped?
Well, I think with Matt, he's responded quite well, and I think during this, just the matter of heat that we've gone through this summer and the number of innings that he's pitched, I think probably was a boost to him to give him those extra days. I don't think Ogando's quite responded in the same way that Matt has, but hopefully that we'll start seeing a difference in the crispness of Ogando's pitches, because I don't think he's had as good a command as he had earlier, and I just don't think his pitches have as much movement on them.
Nolan, with a young pitcher who really has, like both of these guys who have never pitched through a 6-month season, is the mental break something that they benefit from as well?
Well, I think it is, Tom. I think you know as well as I do that the grind of a 6-month season wears on you, and I think when they start getting a little tired, that's the separating point. And I think for these young guys, they have to experience the first time before they really get a handle on it.
3-2 pitch, and he gets Hafner swinging. Well, as you know, all night we're taking bids on items to benefit the Shannon Stone Memorial Fund, and one of those, the Fan Express trip. Winner and a guest will meet you. And the Fan Express trip during the 2012 Rangers regular season for you and 49 friends. How about that?
Well, that ought to be quite interesting. And so, when they asked me about it, I said, yeah, I'd be glad to do it. And look forward to it.
Well, we're getting some pretty good bids already, we are told. And you can continue to bid at foxsportssouthwest.com throughout the course of our game. Here's Carlos Santana, grounded to third, his first time up.
Well, there are some really nice trips on there and opportunities, and there are things that normally you wouldn't get a shot at. And so I think that the auction is going to do well. I think people will appreciate a unique opportunity that you don't see every day.
2 balls and a strike here to Santana.
Uh-oh.
Well hit deep left center field and gone. And we have a tie game. Carlos Santana goes deep for the 22nd time this year.
You know, Tom, I was just getting ready to comment on the fact that Matt had been using his changeup and had been effective because he was keeping it down. And I don't even get that out of my mouth, and he throws a high changeup and it's in the seats. And so I think that's a perfect example of why you have to keep a changeup down. And certainly there's only one place if you miss one, and that is out of the strike zone down.
Yeah, Santana's only hit in the 230s, but he's had 21 home runs, so he's got some power. And yeah, I agree with you, Nolan. As a hitter, when you see that changeup about belt high and out over the plate, it turns into a pretty good pitch to hit.
This sure does. You know, I had trouble with the fact that I had trouble taking enough velocity off my changeup, and so if I got it up like that, it looked like a bad fastball.
Hard ground ball past Kinsler's dive, and Sizemore has a base hit. Nolan, by the way, the current bid on your package up to $2,700.
Well, I'm impressed. And it's early yet, too. So,
that's right.
Maybe they'll stay on it. I hope they do.
Sizemore snapping an 0 for 16. He's at first. The home run by Santana, 411 feet, his 22nd of the year. And here is Shelley Duncan, who flied to right his first time up.
No, when you look at Matt Harrison, one thing that you notice is left-hand hitters have hit right around 300 against him. What are some of the things that he can do as time goes on to get better at controlling the left-hand hitters he faces?
Well, I think what I would like to do is see him pitch them in more and get him conscious of that, and then throw the changeup. I think it would help him some. And then the other thing is that they left-handers for some reason, and really the right-handers do, also get to see his curveball fairly well, and I think that's why they have a comfort zone. And I would like to see him work on his curveball and really get it to be a bigger breaking, and not necessarily a bigger breaking curveball, but a sharper breaking curveball.
Duncan apparently getting timeout call before that pitch. Looked like something in his eye. Now steps back into the ball and a strike. Nola, we've got just a little over 2 weeks to go in the season. If you could wave your magic wand, what would you like to see happen between now and time for postseason?
Want us to clinch before we go to L.A.
Thought that might be pretty high on your list.
But it would be Nelson Cruz to get as many at-bats as we could get him in a situation where we feel like his timing is back. And that's the thing I worry about at this point in time, is that with the minor league season being over, we don't have the option of sending him out and letting him get some at-bats. And I think that's real important, because you go into postseason, you're going to see every club's best front three starters, and they're going to be on their games. And so if you're not on yours, it's going to be awfully hard. And I think he's at a disadvantage there.
Duncan reaches to foul that one off. Stay 1 ball and 2 strikes. Pitching wise, the big acquisitions, though, of course, at the deadline. Mike Adams, Koji Wahara. Later, Michael Gonzalez. Are you pretty well happy with what Ron Washington and Mike Maddox have to go to out there in the bullpen from here on?
Well, I think that now we have given them more ability to go to the bullpen with confidence than they've had all year. And so I think all those guys have been big acquisitions for us. And I really think that it gives Ron and Mike some flexibility down there where they can match up situations in games more so now than they've been able to all year.
Got Duncan looking there. Call strike 3.
He threw him a couple of nice changeups before that. He checked his swing, tried to check his swing on one, tapped one foul, and then the fastball snuck right up on him. And he watches it for strike 3.
I think that's that at bat right there was a good example of what a changeup can mean to you. And I think that he had to be aware that he could throw him another changeup, and the fastball just froze him.
Nolan, did you throw your changeup your whole career?
Well, you know, Tom, I tried to, but what I did is because of my arm speed, I always had trouble taking enough velocity off of it. And until I really was able to develop the circle changeup, I never was very successful with it. So it was a pitch I used very little, just out of frustration.
Nolan, our total sum of bids now, this is all bids for all the packages. We've just crossed $40,000, $40,957.
That is great. I mean, that speaks volume for what our fans are doing and the willing the support they're willing to give us.
And as we said, the night is still young.
And those are the kind of swings right there that I like.
I'd like to see where that ball would have gone if he made contact.
You know what?
With it.
That swing was so slow you couldn't have hit his bat.
If that hit the bat, it might have knocked the bat backwards.
I agree.
That's just not quite being.
I don't think he got what he was looking for. I don't know what it was. But.
A ball and 2 strikes to Chisenhall. Matt Laporta would be next.
I had 3 or 4 teammates. If I ever took a swing like that, they'd been imitating it in batting practice the next day.
Jim and I talk about that. You know how the one thing a hitter did not want to do is get jammed. And you know, nowadays we'll see guys absolutely just get jammed as bad as you'll ever see them, and they just kind of ho-hum it. And Jim and I are going, boy, how times have changed.
Moreland gets the force at second base. Nolan, as always, we appreciate your time.
Nolan.
All right, guys, keep up the good job on the auction.
All right.
All right, there's Nolan Ryan. The Indians tied on Santana's home run, 1-1. On Lexus Club Terrace tickets with the September Super Saver. Just pay the day, $14 tomorrow on September 14th, or $15 Thursday, September 15th. For tickets, go to TexasRangers.com/specials. Adrian Beltre leads off the Ranger fourth. He ended the first grounding out to the mound with Rangers on the corners. The Rangers got the lead in this game, a second inning leadoff home run by Murphy. Two batters later, Moreland singled. Masterson settling down to retire the next five in order. This one is not that deep, and Fukudome settles under, and there's the first out of the Ranger fourth inning. Our first 10,000 plus bid. Not that big a surprise is the VIP Cowboys game experience. Curtain bid to beat $10,200. And here is Murphy. Lets this first pitch go. Murphy has always hit well against Indian pitching. Career .333 average. Those numbers just continue to climb.
Dave, Josh Boyd is the Rangers' director of professional scouting. His wife, Michelle, has started a company called The Sweet Life, a web-based company. Cakes, cupcakes, cake balls. And if the batch of cake balls that she sent up today are any example of what she has to sell and to offer on her website, it's going to be very successful because they were great. Thank you for sending those up, Michelle.
Yeah, those were almost too good. Back off a little bit.
That's too good right there.
Way up and way out of here. The upper porch this time for David Murphy. A two-homer night, and the Rangers go back on top.
Again, you're talking about a pitcher who coming into the game had given up 7 home runs and 200 innings. He's given up 2 and 4 innings to David Murphy today. It's a 93-mile-an-hour sinker, and you know, if you're Masterson, you're not terribly disappointed with where that pitch was. A little bit off the plate and in. Masterson's problem was he threw it to David Murphy, though. Right now he's hitting about everything a pitcher throws up there.
2-0 to Napoli, grounded to first his first trip. Boy, what a towering shot that was. Majestic. Right to the bottom of the upper porch. In straightaway right. So David hitting number 10 and 11. 394 feet, just 10 feet longer in the estimate than his second inning blast. And Napoli takes ball 4. Our Geico quote comes from Mike Maddox, talking about his catchers. We're fortunate to have the catchers we have. They're all pitchers, catchers. What they do at the plate is secondary. They're out there for the pitcher. And not surprising to hear a pitching coach talk like that, but what they do at the plate is pretty considerable, especially Mike Napoli.
I think it's amazing when you can get the pitching coach and the pitchers to be behind their catchers and their defense, and then get the offense that Mike and Yorvit are providing. Boy, you've got a pretty nice situation. Mike came into the game with an OPS, on base percentage plus slugging percentage, of 10-11. His on base percentage now is 405, 406. Slugging percentage over 600. You can't have much of a better offensive year if you're Mike Napoli than that. And to have your pitching coach talking about how much the pitchers like throwing to you, along with Torey Alba. Pretty nice situation to have. And then the third catcher right now is Matt Trainer, who I'm sure the pitchers would say the exact same thing about.
No doubt.
3 veteran catchers that you love having in the game, any one of them.
Mitch Moreland skies that one, but only to medium deep right.
He just got underneath that. Mitch knew it too.
Well, our current bid to spend some time up with us in the booth and hang around Jim Knox, $2,300. That can't be right. There's a couple of zeros missing there. Just to sit up here next to you is worth more than $2,300.
Hopefully it is to somebody. All it takes is one person that's willing to bid. It's probably not even worth $2,300 to a lot of people, but we just need that one person that it would be a special thing for them. It's not just us. It's getting to go out in the truck, see Kurt Dykert, Dave Burchett.
Oh, come on. Get on the air with Jim Knox. You can't put a price tag on that.
You see, that's the thing. It's one thing to come up here. It's another thing to go down in the truck with all the guys. That's fascinating, by the way. I still don't understand how it all works. But to go around with Jim Knox, I mean, now you're talking.
Andy Chavez, grounder to Kipnis, and that will take care of the Rangers' fourth, but they take the lead. All the offense so far supplied on 2 mighty swings of David Murphy's bat. The only player in Rangers history to hit for the cycle in natural order. A single, followed by a double, then a triple, then a home run. Well, there aren't that many Rangers who have hit for the cycle, so rather small universe for you to pick from, but we'll check back and see if you got it or not. What a night David Murphy's having. Otherwise, we'd be talking about Justin Masterson and his complete domination of the Ranger order. Instead, it's 2-1. Matt Harrison with another lead to protect. And first up, Matt Laporta, who singled with 2 outs in the third to become the first Indian base runner. Laporta sent down to AAA Columbus a couple of weeks ago, just for a week or so. And his only game before tonight since the return was on Friday. He had a couple of RBIs, a double, struck out 3 times. First at bat tonight looked pretty good. And takes ball 2, 2 balls and a strike. He'll be followed by the top of the order, Fukudome and Jason Kipnis. And a high pop that should be playable right on top of the bag, in fact, for Mitch Moreland. Let's check in with John Radigan.
All right, Dave. Yeah, thanks very much. I hope everybody's watching the game with their laptop on their lap so they can keep bidding on all these great auction items. Rangers legend Pete O'Brien joins us now, and I'm on the edge of my seat because Pete won't tell me what his favorite item is. Which one would you bid on, Pete?
Well, I think right now I'd like a hitting lesson from David Murphy, but that's not on there.
That's a good
right?
one, yeah.
But, I think I like this Fox Sports broadcaster for a day.
Yeah.
If we could hang out with you afterwards a little bit,
oh,
maybe.
You want to come by the post-game show?
Yeah,
too?
if we could do that. But
we could probably work that out.
To hang out with Barnett and Grieve, I think would be a good one.
Yeah, see there, they were just trying to help sell that one, and we appreciate you trying to help sell it too. He didn't know this wasn't a setup. He had no idea we did that. Pete, we thank you for coming by and supporting this thing. That's great, Pete O'Brien, and he's going to bid on it, guys. He's going to be up there with you one of these nights.
All right, well, he's more than welcome. Tell you what, he looks like he could still be down there swinging like David Murphy. Fukudome, that is just foul, 0-2. Well, the Indians started play today. Tied for second in the Central, 11.5 behind the Tigers. Detroit leading 1-0 at Chicago, bottom of the fourth, and Justin Verlander so far scattering 5 hits, but leading as he goes for his 23rd win of the year against just 5 losses.
Tigers just don't lose much lately. They won 10 in a row. Boy, that didn't miss by much, but just slightly outside.
Gavin Floyd's only given up 2 Detroit hits, but he trails. And a base hit by Fukudome going the opposite way. His second of the night, and the 5th allowed by Matt Harrison. Rays and the Orioles are tied 2 apiece, top of the 8th. Boston 10, Toronto 5, bottom 7 at Fenway. Kansas City leading the Twins 4-0, a 2-hitter so far by Bruce Chen. And the late games, the Angels at Oakland. It gets underway in about 40 minutes or so. Jerome Williams against Guillermo Moscoso, and the Yankees at Seattle. A.J. Burnett against Charlie Furbush. One out with Fukudome at first, and Kipnis, who has grounded to first and walked in his first 2 trips.
Just missing that out. Can't hit the outside corner to the left-hand hitters. He missed a couple with Fukudome. He's missed a couple here with Kipnis. He's trying to hit the outside corner, but they're just going a little too far outside.
It's overdue for a double play ball, too. I haven't seen one yet tonight. He and C.J. Wilson now tied for the most double play grounders induced in the major leagues, 29 apiece. That is just foul, and it's 2-1. Kipnis, a AAA All-Star this year at Columbus. Next one will tie Kevin Brown from 91 and Rick Honeycutt from 83. Most double play ground outs in a single year. Rangers all-time record. Left field, that sends Hamilton back, and it's over his head. Fukudome is being waved home, and the relay is not in time, but the Indians have tied it at 2. On a double by Jason Kipnis, his 12th run batted into the year.
You know, we were talking when Nolan was on about how left-hand hitters have just hit way better against Matt than right-handed hitters. Left-hand hitters are hitting 300 against Matt. We've seen the problems that he's had in the game today. He hadn't been able to hit the outside corner, and when that one caught the outside corner, Kipnis was able to drive it to left field. So, you know, as time goes on, you have to remember Matt's only 25 years old. First full season that he's been in a big league rotation, but I'm sure one of the things he'll work on is developing some kind of an off-speed pitch that can counteract the left-hand hitters. The changeup is something that counteracts the right-hand hitters. He can throw it down and make it tail away, and then that makes his fastball that much better. A lot of times you'll see a pitcher doesn't want to, a left-hand pitcher doesn't want to throw a changeup to a left-hand hitter because the changeup comes into him and is a little bit easier for a left-hand hitter to hit than a right-hand hitter. But if you keep it down and you throw it with good deception, the change of speed can fool a left-hand hitter as well.
Well hit ball just well enough that Hamilton had no play on it. He got pretty close. That one off the facing of the club seats. Behind first, 1 ball and 2 strikes to Cabrera, who has twice grounded out to Beltre at third. Total number of high bids now nearing the $50,000 mark. Again, you can check it out at foxsportssouthwest.com. The items and the current high bids. Cabrera strikes out, 4th strikeout, 2nd out here in the top of the 5th.
Yeah, two left-hand hitters, Fukudome and Kipnis, both get base hits, and then the best hitter in their lineup is Cabrera. And he comes in with a good slider down and in. He gets in to swing and miss at it.
Michael Gonzalez begins to throw in the Ranger pen, with Harrison at 84 pitches. But here is Travis Hafter, and he has struck him out swinging both times tonight. And a good start there with strike 1. Travis from Sikeston, North Dakota. Until he graduated from high school, he had never been in a town bigger than Jamestown, population 21,000. Sikeston had all of 180 people. And against the overshift, he had Kinsler out into short right to retire Hafter, but the Indians tied up again. A run on 2 hits. The RBI double by Kipnis makes it 2-2. for it tonight. Only player in Rangers history to hit for the cycle in natural order, single, double, triple, then home run. Gary Matthews Jr. at Detroit, September 13th, 5 years ago today. My first guess was actually Oda B. McDowell because I remember his ending with a home run. Mark Teixeira in 04, GMJ 06, Ian Kinsler, the incredible 6-hit cycle. Only one in modern baseball history, all within 9 innings, 6 hits in the cycle. And Benji Molina in memorable fashion. You could still see him legging out that triple last July 16th at Fenway Park to complete the 5th and most recent Rangers cycle. Ian Kinsler also needing a triple to complete his cycle. And he came up after that. That was only the 7th inning and got another hit or two after he had completed his cycle. Tonight he led off with a walk, stole second, then was picked off second. And he ended the 2nd inning rounding into a fielder's choice. Ground ball right to the shortstop Cabrera. One gone to the Ranger 5th. Here's Jim Knox.
All right, Dave, take a look at this. The Mavericks Experience Lunch, one of the other items to bid on tonight. Get online and vote and bid on this. Great day, having a good lunch, and look who we have here. It's the Mavs Maniacs, and I tell you what, on that bid, you will not be asked to dance with the Mavs Maniacs, and that's a good thing, unless you want to, because they will teach you how to dance like a Mav Maniac. Very nice, guys. Very nice, huh? All right, there we go. FoxSportsSouthwest.com. Click on the Shannon Stewart banner and put your bid in now. I promise you, you will not have Shannon Stone. Click on the icon, and I promise you, you won't have to dance with these guys. Not bad, guys. Go ahead and bid on it now. Go ahead. Let's go. Huh? Uh-huh. Yep, there we go. There.
I would bid to see Jim Knox get a dance lesson from the Mavs Maniacs.
Knox has got to put on a little weight to dance with those guys.
Get an ovation out here, guys. Way to go. They're working up a pretty good sweat, I have to say. All right, you get a jelly donut. How about that? Yeah.
Right. Just what those guys need. Open up a box of jelly donuts. 3-0 to Elvis, who has struck out and bounced to the mound. Remember, he was 5 for 8 against Justin Masterson coming into tonight. Never held hitless in his first 20 games against the Indians. And he works the walk. Third walk issued by Masterson. And with 1 out, 1 on now, here is Hamilton. Josh in the first, leg down an infield hit and grounded to third the second time up. Remember Hamilton's success against Masterson. 1 for 2 tonight, 7 for 11 in his career with 2 homers and a double. Takes that one inside.
I got to go for the call right here.
Took the words out of my mouth.
You've already said he's had a couple of home runs, 2-0 count. Be a good spot for it.
You just beat me to it. I was thinking the same thing, but you'll get credit.
Should be good karma then.
First guy to give him something to hit, 3-0.
I would be too disappointed with the walk right here to put a couple of men on for Michael Young and Adrian Beltre.
Not swinging at 3-0.
I think in this situation, middle of the game, when you've got 2 guys like Young and Beltre coming up next, a base runner is really important as well.
Well hit, deep right center field and gone. A called shot and a 2-run home run for Josh Hamilton. 4-2 Rangers.
There aren't many line drives that you'll see hit like that thing. That looked like a line drive over second that went 420 feet. Well, we exaggerate how hard balls are hit all the time, but that thing looked like a tee shot. That was a rope. Perfect swing at a pitch down. That ball just jumped out of here.
The basic Jack Nicklaus 1-iron.
That just made the park look like it was too small.
So number 20 for Hamilton is 82nd and 83rd runs batted in, and the Rangers are on top 4-2. 414 feet. Nice call, partner. You just felt the vibes, didn't you?
Yeah, you know,
it was
just
that time.
He looked, the way he took that first pitch, just looked like he was going to be right on it. Got ahead in the count. He got a fastball to look at, 3-1, and then got one down into his liking and just drove it right on out of here. Just a line shot.
So Masterton, 7 homers in his first 31 appearances, 30 starts before tonight. And through 4 1/3, he has allowed 3. That ties the most any Indian pitcher has allowed all year.
Yeah, he has lowered his walk total from the previous year. And he's walked 3 guys today as well.
Michael with the notion on that one. He did not go around, says Wally Bell, and it's 3-2. Well, except for the home runs, this is a fairly typical Justin Masterson outing. 301 earned run average, 7th in the league, but accustomed to very little in the way of run support. And he strikes out Michael, out number 2. Here's Sean Radigan.
Hey, Rangers fans, you're doing great. We have surpassed the $50,000 mark. We're at $52,900 on the auction items that we've got out there. A couple of great ones out there that are still going for a bargain. The Troy Aikman package is at like $4,100 right now. Are you kidding me? A chance to play golf and have dinner with Troy Aikman at the TPC Four Seasons, and then Cafe on the Green. Wine Country's at about $5,100 right now. But boy, that is a beautiful package, a very romantic package. A little weekend getaway to San Francisco and the Sonoma, and we're at $55,077 right now. We're thrilled to be raising this kind of money for the Shannon Stone Memorial Fund. We thank all of you. Keep bidding. Those auction items will stay up until 11 o'clock. Keep on bidding. Let's raise lots of money tonight. Back to you guys.
All right, John. Adrian Beltre, 2 balls and no strikes. And he tried to match the Hamilton blast right there. One mighty swing and a miss. Adrian is grounded to the mound, flied to right. 2-2. Masterson from May 1st to the end of June had one of the best stretches of his career. He had a .334 earned run average, and in those 11 starts he went 0-6. Deep drive to right, but room in front of the wall for Fukudome. And that does it for the Ranger 5th inning. A walk to Elvis, a 2-run shot to center by Josh Hamilton, and it's 4-2 Texas. Chance for half-price tickets in select seating areas from Ozarka website Wednesday. Don't miss it at 6:05. Get your tickets today at TexasRangers.com/specials. And it is a 6 o'clock broadcast. And move up an hour for national television. Here you can, of course, see us right here on Fox Sports Southwest. 6 o'clock, our telecast time tomorrow night. Game 2 of the series will match for the Rangers. Derek Holland, 13-5, and left-hander David Huff for the Indians, 2-4, but with an ERA of just over 3, a little like Masterson has pitched better than the one loss really indicates. Yeah, the first pitch to Carlos Santana rides high. Santana grounded to third in the second and then got the Indians on the board. Drilling a home run 411 feet with one out in the 4th inning, out to left. And that made for a brief 1-1 tie. Rangers scored in the 5th on David Murphy's, or in their bottom of the 4th rather, on the David Murphy's second home run. 2-2 to Santana.
Santana is only hitting .232 coming into the game, but he's walked 87 times. That's the 4th most walks in the league. Pretty good for a young hitter, 25 years old. Gives him a respectable on-base percentage. When a guy has a low average, you can live with it if he has power, which Santana does. 22 home runs, and on base percentage that he gets with the walks. Pretty good combination.
And as they check on Santana after that foul ball, you can see Mark Lowe now up for the first time, and Michael Gonzalez up not for the first time tonight. Well, Santana still in some pain.
He hasn't even moved his leg yet. He's got the protector. That didn't hit his protector. That looked like it hit his knee.
Maybe right on the kneecap.
That's what it looked like. You know, obviously, when you see a hitter with a little protector on his ankle, he tends to follow a lot of balls straight down and into his ankle. But that ball hit above the protector, somewhere around his shin or his knee. Probably if he could run with it, he'd probably go up there with the one he wears when he goes out to catch next time to protect the whole leg. That came down, looked like his shin, yeah, right between his knee and the shin and the ankle protector.
Boy, right there on the bone, no padding at all where that one hit, so trying to walk it off. And the first 2 runs for the Rangers, David Murphy solo home runs. Indians got Santana's homer in the 4th. Made it a 2-2 game after Fukudome walked with one out in the 5th and Jason Kipnis doubled at home. But the Rangers strike right back with the 2-run blast by Josh Hamilton to make it 4-2. Hits are even at 6 apiece, no errors for either team. And Santana ready to step back in and wait for the 2-2 pitch. Inside, 3-2.
Matt breezed through the first 8 hitters in a minimal amount of pitches. Since that time, he's hanging in there, but he's had to throw a lot of pitches after the 2-out 3rd inning situation. Ended up loading the bases, a couple hits and a walk in the 3rd inning, and had base runners in the 4th, base runners in the 5th, and you can see the pitch count, 18 through 2 innings, and a lot more since then, in the 20s the last 3 innings. Got his count up into the 90s now.
Left field, Hamilton started in, now has to go back, and it's over his head. Did not get a good read off the bat that time, and it'll be a double for Santana. Josh thought that was going to be a lot shallower than it was. He went straight into the alley and then realized he needed to get back toward the fence. He couldn't recover quite in time.
The ball gets in on Santana a little bit, but he's still strong enough to drive it all the way to the warning track. Didn't get that on the good part of the bat. Ron Washington's going to make a change.
Left-handed hitting Grady Sizemore is on deck. And Michael Gonzalez is ready to come in. So Santana at second is what Gonzalez will inherit here in the top half of the sixth inning. Nice applause for Matt Harrison. He leaves a 4-2 lead.
Airfare included for 2 people, 2 nights, and most importantly, you get VIP passes for a taping of Regis and Kelly. Now, women out there, if you're watching at home, tell your significant other to bid on this. Or men, Regis loves sports. He talks them too, so this is just a great trip. Back to you, Dave.
All right, Leslie, the first pitch to Sizemore is grounded to Moreland. He gets the out, but it's a productive out as Santana moves up to third. And he's there with 1 out for Shelley Duncan. Our Verizon Wireless call to the bullpen. Gonzalez, the Corpus Christi product, native of Robstown, 3 runs over 2 2/3 innings in his 3 appearances before coming over August 31st from the Orioles for minor league right-hander Pedro Strop. And here is Duncan, who was flied to right and struck out looking. Two of his 9 home runs last week against Justin Verlander, who is still beating Chicago 1-0. That game at the top of the 6th. Fan Express Trip 2012. Current bid $10,001. That would be the Fan Express bus featuring Nolan Ryan coming to a Ranger game. Biggest bid so far. 2-1 pitch to Duncan. Blasted down the left field line. If it's fair, it's a home run. It hooks foul.
That was a high hanging changeup right there. He got away with that one. That was pretty close to tying this game up. That's pretty much the exact same pitch that Matt threw to Santana back in the 4th inning when we had Nolan on. The high changeup. Gotta be careful with that changeup. But it does set up a fastball. He's late on that fastball, but it goes into the stands.
So 2-2 to Duncan. What a great month of September. He has gone back and forth this year from Cleveland to AAA Columbus 4 different times. Up for about the last 5 weeks. A good power groove, too. And that one gets over Napoli. And coming in to score is Carlos Santana to make it a 4-3 game. So Santana fights off a foul ball off his shin, hangs in there, doubles to left center field, takes third on the Sizemore ground out, and comes home after that pitch.
Pitch wasn't even close. Sometimes you get lucky and that ball bounces right straight back to the catcher and you can get the guy coming in. That one just stayed back there and there's not much you could do about it.
Here's the 3-2 pitch, and he got it swinging. And that is being ruled a pass ball. Official score is Dan Shimmick.
That's not a pass ball. That's a wild pitch. The guy throws it 93 miles an hour so high that the catcher can't catch it. That's not a pass ball. Now, you can get your glove on the ball and not be a pass ball. The catcher's looking for a ball in a certain area, and you throw the ball that hard, that wild, can't be expected to catch it.
Well, maybe Dan will reconsider.
I think Dan will. And you can't catch the ball. The ball went off the top of his glove. It need to be Wilt Chamberlain to catch that ball. He's looking for a ball in the inside part of the plate.
That was a good 3 feet away from the target.
3 feet away from the target. It's outside and high, and it's going 90 miles an hour.
And out, 2-0 pitch to Chisenhall, and that one grounded to Kinsler. And the Indians are done in the 6th, but they chip away another run on 1 hit. Tonight's jackpot is worth $1,000 in dinner for 2 at a Sonic Drive-In. And tonight, the Rangers are hitting for Samantha Lynch from Mesquite. If a Ranger hits a grand slam during this inning, Samantha Lynch from Mesquite will win $25,000. You can register at any participating Sonic restaurant. And it is Murphy, Napoli, and Moreland against Justin Masterson, whose first pitch of the second inning was to Murphy. It ended up 384 feet. Out to right. Got the Rangers scoring started with one out in the fourth, a 1-2 pitch, and Murphy hit that one to the bottom of the upper porch, 394 feet. Little dribbler here, and Masterson cannot get the throw anywhere near Laporta, and Murphy is aboard.
There's nothing he could do, because once David got past him, when Masterson fielded that ball, there was no way to get the ball to the first baseman without hitting David with a ball. It looked like he tried to flip the ball around David, but he couldn't do it. The only thing he could do was hit David right in the back with it, and that wouldn't have gotten the job done either. So that's just a base hit. There's nothing he could do about it.
So Murphy's first two swings total 778 feet. And his third hit travels about 60 feet or so. But he is aboard for Napoli, who's grounded to first and walked. First pitch here, belted to center field. Murphy will make third. And the Rangers in business now in the bottom of the sixth.
I think the way he described that is exactly what that was. He belted that ball to right center field. That ball didn't sink. It's out over the plate. Boy, Mike puts a charge in that. Drilled that line drive.
And Manny Acta has seen enough of Justin Masterson tonight. He gives way to left-hander Nick Hagedorn. A 4-3 game. Rangers on the corners. Nobody out here in the sixth.
Southwest. This is John Heike, and John, you got to be extremely pleased on what is happening. The bids are up. The fans have really come through. A lot of great items to help out the Shannon Stone Memorial Fund.
Yeah, it's been a great night so far. Hopefully we've got a few more good things to come. What's been really exciting about this is when we reached out to all the other teams in the marketplace, they just jumped in open arms to help this process. So we want to make a special thanks too, because we did all this from scratch. So we needed hotel rooms, we needed airfare. We said, look, guys, will you help us out? And everybody stepped up. I'd like to make a special shout out to our friends at the Omni Hotel, Tom Faust, Mark Wykes, and their guys immediately said, we're in to help you get this done. Our friends at Southwest Airlines, Andy Allman, said whatever it takes, we're in. So that's the kind of support that everybody's given to make this night so special. So it just can't be thankful enough that, again, from our teams, from the corporate sponsors to the community, everybody's rallying behind this great cause.
All right. Well said. Now, if you could bid on an item, what would you do?
I'm going to try and sneak in and get that trip to Sonoma before it's all said and done. So the people I bet on that better start bidding.
There we are. It's up to $7,000, they tell us now.
Wow, okay.
Yeah,
well,
keep bidding. Let's see. It's got till 11 tonight, right?
We got plenty of time still.
There we go.
So, yeah.
All right, way to go, John. Thank you very much. Dave?
All right, and Nick Hagedorn throws ball 1 to Mitch Moreland, who has singled and flied to right. And it's now 2 balls and no strikes. Hagedorn acquired from the Red Sox at the trade deadline 2 years ago with Justin Masterson and Brian Price. That the deal that sent Victor Martinez to Boston. And it is 3-0. Rangers trying to add to their 1-run lead here in the 6th. Murphy led off with an infield hit. Napoli singled him to third. Nobody out. And Mitch taking all the way. It's a 4-pitch walk, and they are loaded with nobody out. And Envy Chavez being called back to the dugout, and we will see Craig Gentry come on to bat against the left-hander as Josh Judy warms up out of the Indians bullpen. Don't forget, this is our Sonic Slam inning worth $25,000. And here is Gentry against Hagedorn, pitching in just his 4th major league game. A September call-up. A real test here. Gentry had a big day on Sunday. 3 for 5. A triple, drove in 1, scored 2. Matched his career high with those 3 hits. Murphy at third, Napoli at second, Moreland at first, nobody out. And all 5 pitches have missed.
Got to throw you a strike here. Got to make him throw a strike.
Borderline there, but ball 2. Carlos Santana out trying to calm down his left-hander. Most of this year, Nick Hagedorn is split between AA Akron and AAA Columbus. The BCS championship experience up to $4,700. Log on to FoxSportsSouthwest.com. Place your bid on that or any of the other enticing items to benefit the Shannon Stone Memorial Fund tonight. Six pitches, no strikes so far from Hagedorn. The 2-0 pitch to Gentry. That is in there on the corner, and it's 2-1. Ron Washington going to Gentry here. Chavez was 0 for 2 tonight. He is 0 for his last 13. Up the middle and through a base hit. Murphy scores. Napoli scores. All the way to third goes Moreland, and taking second on the throw, Craig Gentry, who makes it 6-3.
And it just feels so good for Craig Gentry. He's working so hard. He's earning his spot on a big league roster for the first time, and he's contributing to a pennant race in a big way. On the bases with his speed, in the outfield with his defense, and now with a big hit in a 4-3 game with the bases loaded, he pinch hits, knocks in a couple of runs, takes second on the throw, just making things happen all the way around. Now Ron Washington going back to his third base coaching days right there, still has that left arm in shape.
A 2-run single by Craig Gentry gets himself into scoring position on the throw. Nick Hagedon done after 2 batters. Couldn't retire either. Walk Moreland. 2-run single by Gentry, and back to the bullpen they go for Josh Judy.
$1,000+ already raised for the Shannon Stone Memorial Fund. John Radigan with Anthony Andro, our good friend from FoxSportsSouthwest.com. And you've been watching this thing on Twitter. You're, of course, our social media guy all over the interactivity. And this is trending quite well on Twitter right now.
Right. You know, you see a lot of people, the Troy Aikman thing seems to be big. And an impressive thing is so many people retweeting it about trying to get people to bid for the auction and stuff like that. It's pretty cool to see how many people are trying to get involved and trying to help out.
Yeah, we've had 243 bids so far and raised $77,009. So we're shooting for 6 figures big time. We hope you'll keep bidding these items up, and we'll keep you updated throughout the course of the night. But that Troy Aikman thing is getting a lot of interest. I know we can bid it up higher than it is right now. Guys, back to you.
First pitch to Ian Kinsler, misses. Again, FoxSportsSouthwest.com. Log on, place your bid all through the game tonight. 6-3. Runners at second and third, and 1-1 now to Kinsler, who is 0 for 2 with a walk and a stolen base. Judy up for the 4th time this year. Otherwise down to AAA Columbus. He was their closer.
He must just come back and forth in the same car with Shelley Duncan.
Yeah, they should carpool. And Kinsler with the notion on that one, in there for strike 1 and 2. So Masterson's line is complete now. 5+ innings, all 6 runs on 8 hits. He struck out 2 and walked 3. Still 1 and 2 to Ian. Ian second in the league in scoring, a distant second to Curtis Granderson. But up there nonetheless. And this one has popped up. Second baseman Kipnis barely had to move to get the first out.
The Indians have some good arms in their bullpen. Herman, Smith, Perez, Sipp. You know, it looks like this kid's got a pretty good arm too. Sneaky fastball, hard breaking ball. And you know, the Ranger hitters have never seen him before. And when you go up there, I think the hardest thing to do is gauge a guy's breaking ball if you've never seen him before, especially if he's got a pretty good fastball to go along with it. That's the situation that Ian was in right there. Saw some pretty good breaking balls.
Infield playing in, not all the way in at second and short. As Andrews takes ball one. Elvis has struck out, bounced to the mound, and last time reached on a walk. Just ahead of the home run by Josh Hamilton. One ball and one strike. Elvis at a very productive stretch. Getting on base. He has already scored 14 times in the month of September. Reaching by either a hit or a walk in now 16 consecutive games.
Yeah, Elvis has got a chance to score 100 runs. He scored 90 runs now. Pretty good. Two guys hitting first and second for you, both score 100 runs. Credit for how much they're getting on base and how well the guys in the middle of the lineup are bringing them home.
Takes that one in. 2 balls and a strike. They are underway in Oakland. Nothing for the Angels in their half of the first, and now the A's batting against Jerome Williams. 3-game lead for the Rangers beginning play tonight. Inside, 3-1. One more of those, and Josh Hamilton will bat with the bases loaded. Off the fists and blooped into the seats. It's 3-2. Rangers having a great month of September so far, hitting .323, averaging over 7.5 runs per game, averaging 2 homers a game. Rangers of Detroit co-leaders with 18 homers. That was before the 3 the Rangers have hit tonight. And the 3-2 pitch, well hit, right center field gap and off the wall. Moreland scores. Right behind him is Gentry. Elvis Andrews with a 2-run double makes it 8-3.
He's battling up there with a couple of strikes, and when he's in this mode, he's trying to drive the ball back through the middle. And you talk about young hitters, and one of the hardest things to predict is when they're going to get stronger, when they're going to drive the ball. And I think it's happening. It's starting to happen for Elvis now. The last month, he hit that long home run in Boston. He's driven balls to right field like that, almost drove that into the Ranger bullpen. It just looks like he's getting more confident at the plate. He's getting a little bit stronger. He's driving the ball a little bit better. Just becoming a much better offensive player over the last month, and the walks are a big part of it. Being patient, being confident to take pitches, to work with 2 strikes, not trying to pull the ball. I think this last month, it might not statistically be the best that he's been for that length of time, but I think when you look at the improvements he's made, the development you're seeing, it could be a moment you look back to and say, yeah, that was when Elvis started to develop a little power, become more patient at the plate, and raise his offensive game.
Well, after Hamilton flies out on the first pitch, here is Michael Young, the 8th Ranger to hit here in the 6th. And he takes a strike. Michael, a single, fly to right, and a strikeout. And Hagedorn's line is complete. Did not record an out. Gave up 2 runs on the walk to Moreland, and the 2-run single by Gentry. They have both come home. And that one well hit, deep right center field, and caught by Sizemore just as he runs into the wall in front of the Rangers bullpen. So a long third out off the bat of Michael Young. Big hits, though, the Rangers 6. Gentry's 2-run single. Elvis's 2-run double. It's 8-3. Go to youthsportswired.com. Dave Barnett, Tom Grieve. A lot of young Ranger fans taking in this one. It is 8-3 as we head into the 7th inning, and it's Laporta, Fukudome, and Kipnis with Michael Gonzalez on for his 2nd inning in relief. And Gentry stays in after batting for Chavez and takes over center field. Laporta singled with 2 outs in the 3rd. As Harrison had retired the first 8 Cleveland batters in order to begin the game. So Matt's line complete at 5 innings plus 1 batter. 3 runs on 7 hits, struck out 4, walked only 1. And the 2-0 pitch popped up high, right side. Kinsler drifting out into the grass, and there's out number 1. When Gonzalez was acquired from Baltimore, initially all the information about him said he was Mike Gonzalez. Then he said after arriving here really preferred Michael, and then talking with him a little bit about it yesterday, he finally said, well, why not make it really unique? Call me Gonzo.
We could do that.
I promised him we would, so it's Gonzo Gonzalez.
Okay. Usually when you go from Mike to Michael, the next step wouldn't be Gonzo. It would be Mr. Gonzalez.
I think that may be what appealed to him.
Okay.
A little change of pace, if you will.
Well, we'll go with Gonzo. I like that.
Well, he went on and on about how happy and fortunate he feels coming from worst to first. From the Orioles to this Ranger team. Fukudome flied to left to begin the game. Next 2 trips he singled, and he scored the 2nd Indian run back in the 5th.
Well, the Orioles jumped up and beat Tampa Bay today. The Red Sox took it out on the Blue Jays.
That is Zach Putnam.
I hope the Orioles will start playing some good baseball because they've got a series left with the Angels.
Foul pop, and Moreland cannot make the catch.
That's about all he can do is smile on that one. He called off Napoli. see Mitch call it for it, but I don't know if he felt like Mike was in the way or he just never got to it. But
it is, after all, a full moon. It is a full moon night. Should that have been Napoli's? Or would you rather have the infielder coming in?
I think if the first baseman calls for it, it's better for the first baseman because it should be easier for him coming in than it is for the catcher going away with his back to the plate like that. Should be an easier play for the first baseman. I'm not sure if Mitch called for that before he knew he could comfortably get underneath it and then just couldn't quite get there, or exactly what happened on it. But it wasn't a sky-high pop-up to begin with. It was kind of an in-between one. No problem, though.
Yeah, no harm done. Just 3 extra pitches, and Fukudome grounds out. 2 gone in the Indian 7th.
Good job by Gonzalez. He let one pitch get away from him last inning, the wild pitch. Scored Santana, who was on third base, but other than that, it's 5 up, 5 down with a strikeout. No balls hit hard, so good job getting a chance to get some pitches in today. Instead of a short little stint, going to get 2 innings under his belt. So good opportunity for Mike to come in, pitch in the game. The Rangers have a chance to win. It was a close game when he came in originally.
Kipnis, one of their biggest hits, an RBI double in the 5th, which brought home the Indians' 2nd run. They got their 3rd in the 6th. Santana leadoff double. Gonzalez came in. Santana able to score on a wild pitch. But since then, 5 in a row retired by Gonzo. And a benefit for Shannon Stone's Memorial Fund up now to $86,000. Total sum of all the high bids. Delayed call there. Last Diaz dragging out the drama, but it was a strike, and it's 3-1. Gonzalez working quickly. Gets that corner, and the count is full.
Back with a well-located 93-mile-an-hour fastball. I love pitchers that get the ball, stay right on the mound, and can't wait to throw the next pitch. Definitely got an aggressive look to him the way he stares at the catcher and the hitter. Not a boy.
Easy play for Gentry. Drops out 2-3 steps. He's under it. And Gonzalez works a 1-2-3 7th inning. Stretch time at the ballpark. 8-3 Texas.
VIP suite going for $12,200. The Sonoma trip for $7,200, and each of these could easily beat that if you keep bidding. The Hollywood red carpet experience is something your wife will love. And how about behind the scenes at the NFL Sunday program? Gary Reasons, you remember him from Super Bowl fame. Yeah, he's got 2 Super Bowl rings with the Giants. Of course, you see him each and every week on Fox College Football Saturday with us. And Gary, that one that would even appeal to you as a former football player, wouldn't it?
You know, I sit on Sundays and watch those guys, and it's amazing to me how much they cut up. I love Coach Johnson. I love Michael Strahan. Terry Bradshaw, dear to my heart, from the state of Louisiana, and just a good group. Those guys are fun. They really do a great job. And Howie Long, how can you forget him, a guy that I played against with the Raiders. So, you know, it's a good group that they have there. And, you know, it'd be a tremendous day to be there. Take a look at that package. Yeah, it's great to have you out here, Gary. We appreciate you coming out. And, of course, we'll see you this almost every week on some sort of college football coverage, won't we? Yeah, happy to do so. I was at SMU last week, had a great ball game there with the guys, and it was fun. It was enjoyable. And I'm in the studio every weekend, if not out calling ball games on the Fox Big 12 Live show, so happy to do that, and also the Showcase show. So we're showing a little bit of Conference USA and also Big 12 action. So a lot of football this fall. Yeah, we appreciate you coming out and supporting this fund as well. It's Gary Reasons, and he and I will be on the Big 12 Showcase program later this week, too. So stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, keep bidding up those items. If Gary Reasons would go watch that thing behind the scenes, I know you'd love to, too. Dave, Tom, back to you guys.
All right, John, here is Zach Putnam, right-hander, 4th Indian pitcher of the night. And even at a ball and a strike to Adrian Beltre, who was grounded out and twice flied to right. Just a foul there, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Zach Putnam, 24, native of Rochester, Michigan, 5th-round pick by the Indians in the 2008 draft. From Ann Arbor Pioneer High School, just across the street from the big house in Ann Arbor. And he played 3 seasons for the Wolverines. Way inside, and it's 2-2. So Adrian tonight yet to extend the American League's longest current hitting streak at 16 games. 1 off his career high. 30,107 on hand at the ballpark tonight. They saw the Rangers jump to a 1-0 lead on the first of 2 David Murphy home runs. The Indians got 1 in the 4th. Murphy went deep again in the bottom of the 4th. And after an Indian run in the 5th, made it 2-2. Rangers came back in their half of the 5th, a 2-run home run by Josh Hamilton, followed by a 4-run 6th inning, which included 3 different pitchers: Masterson, Hagedorn, and Judy. Well hit way back left center field and out of here. Number 24 for Adrian Beltre, and it's 9-3.
Good offensive game for the Rangers. They've hit 4 home runs and gotten 2 huge hits. A bases loaded single by Craig Gentry and a 2nd and 3rd double by Elvis Andrus. Holding on to his head. Doesn't want him to pat his head. Keeps his helmet on. Nelly Cruz following him all the way. I guess Garden is backside for him. Just make sure he can make it through there safely. And for Zach Putnam, that's his first major league hitter that he faced. And he grooved a 93-mile-an-hour fastball. The 8th pitch in that at bat as Adrian battled and got the pitch he liked and knocked it out of the ballpark.
Murphy with a base hit has a 4-hit night. And he's thinking too.
Just had a 4-hit night the other night, didn't he?
Making it a habit.
In fact, he had two home runs and a double in that game, didn't he? Or a home run and 2 doubles.
Yeah, it was a home run and 2 doubles. And that was 1 week ago tonight, in fact, at Tampa Bay. Only question here was how far up the bleachers that would go, about a third of the way. And then Murphy to the same direction. And he's got himself a 4-hit night and a double, and now he's a triple away from the cycle. As Mike Napoli steps in, he's grounded to first, walked, and then singled and scored, helping crank up the Rangers' 4-run 6th inning. Yeah, kind of a rude greeting to Major League Baseball there for Zach Putnam. Number 24 for Adrian, his 89th run batted in.
Yeah, he's got a shot, if he stays hot the last couple of weeks, to drive in 100 runs after missing 6 weeks of the season. That's the kind of year he was having. They'd be talking about Adrian as an MVP candidate. Had a great shot at 30 home runs, 125 RBIs. And the way he's hitting, he's probably going to get his average up to around 300 as well.
Big cut and a miss, and it's 2-2 to Napoli. How about that package? Golf with Troy Aikman at the DPC Four Seasons. $8,700, our current top bid. And a base hit by Napoli. Murphy heads home. It is 10-3 Texas.
Well, that's another hard hit ball for Napoli. Line shot, single to right center, and that hard hit ball up the middle for an RBI. 2 straight hits. Mike was on base 4 times the other day. He's been on base 3 times today. A walk and 2 more hits.
That pitch had some sink to it, not quite enough.
Hard hit balls from the Rangers in this game. It's been a good offensive game for the Rangers.
Up to 13 base hits now. That is a club record. This is the 6th consecutive game for the Rangers to get 12 or more hits. Old club record was August of 2006. 5 straight, 6 straight tonight. 10 runs on those 13 hits. And for the Indians, 3 runs on 7 hits. So Napoli with a multi-hit game at first. Still nobody out. And here is Mitch Moreland. Mitch singled in the second, fly to right in the 4th. And then as the first batter faced by Nick Hagedorn, he walked to load the bases in the 6th. Gentry followed with a pinch 2-run single. 2 batters later, Andrews a 2-run double to cap that 4-run inning. Way out in front of that one with some good tailing action. No balls and 2 strikes. Putnam out of a very athletic family. His father, Steve, played college baseball and football. His brother Dylan, who pitched at Tulane and Michigan State. Zach tonight reaching the bigs. So far not really enjoying the experience. Although he does get the strikeout here of Moreland. There's 1.
Well, one thing he did is he went to the off-speed pitch. Not sure whether that's a splitter or a changeup. But he was, I think he was maybe overthrowing a little bit to the first 3 hitters. and then comes out with his changeup and has some success getting Mitch to chase that pitch. So it was either a good talk from the pitching coach or good change of signs by the catcher. Now he's probably feeling a little bit more confident now.
Gentry, first pitch, rolls to Chisenhall, but with his speed, no chance to double up. Napoli forced at second. And with 2 outs, back to the top of the order in Kinsler. Under this, throwing strikes, 15 in his first 20 pitches. How about the night for David Murphy? 4 for 4. 4 runs, 2 homers, 7th career 4-hit game, 3rd career multi-home run game, and his 2nd career 4-run game.
Well, it wasn't long ago where David's average was in the lower 200s. Came in at 266 with 4 hits. It's probably up somewhere around 280 now. As hot as he's been, it hasn't taken him long to turn what he termed a disappointing season into a pretty successful season. If you're going to get hot, you want to, I mean, and you had your choice, you take September in a pennant race. Big hits. Every game's important, every hit's important. And David turning it on right at the right time.
And Kinsler not able to hold up. So Putnam strikes out 2, but he also allows 2 runs. Belpre's homer, Murphy's double, RBI single, Napoli on to the 8th, 10-3.
Tom, we got a couple of sleepers. That's right, some underdog packages tonight to bid on, and these are great bargains. You got to check these out. We're going to start with the Movie Lovers Package. This is a screening for an upcoming 20th Century Fox feature film, along with you and 50 guests. Then you got a couple of movie posters signed. Look at that, one by Academy Award winner nominee Brad Pitt. Are you kidding me? James Cameron. And then you have the FC Dallas fan experience. 4 tickets on the field to watch a soccer game. Are you kidding me? That is outstanding. An autographed jersey, autographed session after the game. Only Bob Stern of the ticket was in town. He'd bid on that one. But we do have a couple. This is TJ and Missy. You guys got married Saturday. So I want you to turn to TJ and tell him to bid on this Movie Lovers Package. Do it.
Bid on it right now.
There we go. Now, you guys at home need to go there to foxsportssouthwest.com and bid on it. Beat Missy and TJ. They just got married Saturday, but they're going to bid on it. Outbid them. Let's go for that. And also the FC Dallas. Oh, I like that one. This guy's from where?
Amsterdam, Holland.
Oh, you got to love soccer. Good day.
Of course, Ajax.
All right. Now you go to there and you go to foxsportssouthwest.com, bid on that Dallas FC VIP game experience. You're going to love that, right?
We will, man.
All right. Now you bid at home as well. Let's get those packages done. Good day, mate. Appreciate it. Thank you, Dave.
All right. Mark Lowe on. Working against Asdrubal Cabrera, who was 0 for 3, 2 grounders to third, and a strikeout. I didn't realize they used Good Day Mate in the Netherlands. Learn something every day.
Jim uses it everywhere. I don't know where they use it. Jim uses it to everybody. I was kind of surprised he didn't drop it on John Heike. But
Good Day Mate boss?
Yeah, he could have tried that. John's got a good sense of humor.
3 balls and 2 strikes to Cabrera.
Might be a little familiar for your boss, but you know.
Definitely an icebreaker.
Yeah.
Mr. Heike would always answer to a good resounding gig'em. Mark Lowe last worked on Wednesday at Tampa Bay. Took his 3rd loss, a walk-off home run on the only pitch he threw in the bottom of the 10th to Desmond Jennings. But an aberration because he's been pitching very well. Last 21 games, an ERA of 2.65. His overall ERA has come down 0.8 of a run. Out at Oakland, still 0-0. Angels batting in the 3rd. Moscoso allowing only 1 Angel hit. Williams only 2 A base hits so far. As that one is driven to deep center field, Gentry circles under it and makes the grab for the first out of the 8th inning. Game 2 of this series, 6 o'clock. Make note again of the early start time here on Fox Sports Southwest. And a Nissan pitching matchup, we'll have David Huff going against Derek Holland. Huff, a lot like Masterson in that the 1-loss record really doesn't show how effective he's been. Look at that ERA, just over 3. Excellent opposing batting average of 221. And for Derek Holland, really going for his 14th win. We are near $100,000. How about that? Still time to go. An hour, 15 minutes remaining, so the clock is ticking. Here is Travis Hafter, who struck out his first 2 trips, last time grounded to second. And you can also, through the Texas Rangers Baseball Foundation Memorial account, donate money if you can't take part in the auction tonight. To contribute funds, log on to texasrangers.com/fund. Another way in which you can participate and honor the memory of Shannon Stone. One and 2 to Hafter, former Ranger draft pick, 31st round, 1996, out of Cowley County Community College in Kansas. Rangers playing the overshift here. Only Beltre on the left side of the infield. Elvis to the right of second. Kinsler is short right. It worked the other time they tried it. And the Hafter ground out in the 5th. swing and a foul tip. Napoli hangs on. Third strikeout for Hafner. 2 gone in the 8th.
A good changeup. Great movement on the pitch. Down and way. Hafner, after a mid-90s fastball, way out in front of the great pitch.
That is 8 straight retired by the Ranger bullpen. Gonzalez and his 2 innings. Retired all 6. Big cut and a miss by Carlos Santana, who homered in the 4th. Led off the 6th with the double, and that was it for Matt Harrison. Eight up, 8 down since that Santana double. And right in there with a fastball. It's 0-2. Angels just got a run, top of the 3rd, leading 1-0 out at Oakland. Santana lays off that slider in the dirt. And just up from AAA, Michael Kirkman. Getting ready, perhaps, for a chance. Rangers now have 3 lefties out of their bullpen. And Santana extends the inning. A lot of foul balls here off low in the 8th. As Chicago, the Tigers now leading the White Sox 5-0. That game in the top half of the 8th inning. Justin Verlander going for his 23rd win. Low ready. 1-2 pitch. Taken low. 2 balls and 2 strikes. So if these 2 scores hold, the Indians would fall 12.5 back, as would the White Sox, with a distant 2-way second place tie in the AL Central. Yankees and the Mariners now at the bottom of the 2nd. New York leads that one by a 2-0 score. Mariners just scored in their half of the 2nd, so it's 2-1. And they're still batting against A.J. Burnett. Baltimore beat Tampa Bay 4-2. Ending the Rays' 5-game winning streak. And that one hit well. Center field, up and gone. Carlos Santana has his 2nd home run of the night.
Well, Santana's got a couple of home runs and a double. That guy's not going to be a .230 hitter next year or any year after that. He's a good-looking young player. You just have to love a young player who's walked 87 times on the season. And that's that hanging off-speed pitch up and away. He hit the same pitch, maybe not the same pitch. That might have been a hanging slider. I'm not sure, but he had a changeup from Matt Harrison, right-handed, that was up and away, and then left-handed hits an off-speed pitch up and away out of the ballpark as well.
408 feet. And now here is Grady Sizemore. 2 groundouts and a single back in the 4th. That ended an 0-for-16 slump for Grady. "22nd pitch of the inning here for Lowe, and that is ripped foul. Of course, Sizemore has battled the injuries. began the year on the disabled list after microfracture surgery on his left knee. Scott Feldman knows what that is all about. He returned to the DL on July 18th with a contusion on his other knee, the right knee, and also had a sports hernia repaired. Activated again just 8 days ago. Broken bat roller. The bat goes farther than the ball as Moreland takes care of out number 3 unassisted. So to the bottom of the 8th, it is now 10-4 Texas. Has a special announcement.
All right, Dave, late breaking news. A new total here. Drum roll, please. All right. Not yet. Not yet. Hold it. Now, the final total right now, not the final total, but the total right now, 102,925. That's 102,925 right now. What do you think about that? The Shannon Stone Memorial Fund continues to climb. Continue to log on foxsports.com and continue to bid. foxsportssouthwest.com. Continue to bid on the Shannon Stone Memorial Fund. Packages are going outstanding. You have until 11 o'clock tonight. Dave?
All right, Doxy. Into the bottom of the 8th we go. And for the Indians, their 5th pitcher, Frank Herman. '27-year-old out of Rutherford, New Jersey, and Elvis Andrus grounds the first pitch he sees to Chisenhall. And one gone to the Ranger 8th. Elvis a walk and a run to the 5th, and a 2-run double off of Josh Judy in the 6th to break it wide open. Here's Josh, infield single of the 1st, a ground out. A rope of a 2-run home run to almost straightaway center field, 414 feet. In the 2-run Ranger 5th, and last time up he flied to left. It was a 2-2 game in which Josh hit his home run. Tom, a few weeks ago we talked about Josh saying that he just hasn't been able to attack the baseball, get mad at the baseball, and one reason that his average and home run totals have been down a little bit. But that home run, boy, if you ever want to see an illustration of somebody attacking the baseball, that is what Josh did back in the 5th.
I would definitely agree on that. That was about as hard as he can hit a line drive.
no, thank you. No, that's an old coat.
1-2 pitch just reaches out to flip that one back into the club seats. Justin Masterson, the starter, 5 innings, 6 runs on 8 hits, struck out 2, walked 3. And a foul ball on the check swing, still 1-2. Went off to that pitch. Solid base hit. It's now a 3-hit night for Josh Hamilton.
There have been some hard hit balls tonight. Some nights you get 13 or 14 hits and 6 or 7 of them are little bloopers. These balls the Rangers have hit tonight are just ropes. Second hard hit ball for Josh. Napoli's got a couple of hard hit singles. Elvis drove one off the wall. Murphy's hit a couple of home runs and a line shot double to left center field.
$14 hits now for the Rangers. Michael Young contributed one, a single his first trip back in the first inning. Since then, he's flied out twice and struck out. Rangers out hitting Cleveland by 6. Looking ahead to the Indians' ninth, the bottom third of their order due. It would be Shelley Duncan, Lonnie Chisenhall, and Matt Laporta. Manny Acta stays with those two. They are scheduled to hit. The 0-2 pitch way wide to Michael, 1-2. Indian bullpen second in the league with an average of earned run average of 342. 2 1/3 tonight. They have given up 4 runs and counting on 6 hits. A little check swing, foul at the plate. Rangers hang on. They will again get to 20 games over 500. They've been there a couple times already. Never got it to 21 over. But, this would improve the mark to 84 and 64. How about this? Fox Sports broadcaster for a day, $7,600. That's almost what I pay per game to get to sit next to you.
That's pretty amazing. That's very nice. I think once we put up there that they could come to the production meeting, that price just shot up there. Very nice.
Yeah, that's going to be a historic production meeting if it comes off, because it'll be our first ever. I'll be witnessing some broadcast history.
Well, I'm looking forward to it.
Of course we kid our producer Kurt Dykert. He's just got the production meeting down to a science.
Hey, if they play fantasy football, there's a bunch of us play fantasy football. They can help us set our lineups for the fantasy football week. Sure, all sorts of things we can do.
Line drive, Kipnis on to first just in time for the double up of Hamilton. So the Rangers gone in the 8th. We go to the 9th. 10-4 Texas. by your Texas Ford dealers. Check out the Ford F-150 and drive one. Ford is the best in Texas. Barnett and Tom Grieve. We move to the top half of the ninth inning. And Michael Kirkman has come on. He will be the fourth Ranger pitcher of the evening. Kirkman, of course, back and forth between the AAA and the Rangers several times the last couple of years. Called up from Round Rock on Sunday. Third stint this year with the Rangers. 5 days in April, and then from May 27th until July 1st. And last worked in the Pacific Coast League playoffs on Friday at Omaha. It took a blown save in that one. But Michael last year in the month of August came up and was extremely effective. In the minors, he has started and relieved. And in the relief role here, looking for the final 3 outs of the game. First up is Shelley Duncan, who was fly to right and twice struck out.
Wow, popped that pitch in there at 96 miles an hour.
Right back to it again at 96, but a ball and a strike. Little looper into foul territory, and Moreland almost comes up with it on the slide right in front of the dugout.
Michael Kirkman went flying right over Mitch. He was coming after it himself. He made every effort to keep that ball from landing on the ground.
A couple of close calls over there for Mitch on foul pops. So a ball and 2 strikes here for Kirkman. One-two pitch. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The A's with the run, bottom of the 3rd, trailing LA 3-1. Howie Kendrick has homered again, his 17th of the year.
I just figured the scoreboard out. No, I'm going to say that the 96 was stuck up there because every pitch Michael's thrown, every fastball has been 96 miles an hour. Thought they were just keeping it up there on the scoreboard.
Jeez. Broken bat. Elvis Andrus for out number 1.
Well, those bats, I'm just amazed no one gets hit by those things.
Let's check in again with John Radigan.
With very good news as we roll on here, guys. The auction is going well. It runs until midnight. And how about our total right now? $112,026. We will keep accepting bids until 11 o'clock tonight. We will do it through the course of Rangers Live, which is coming up next, and we'll continue to pump all these items for you. Right now, that Cowboys VIP suite is up to $20,000.
Wow.
And the total is $112,026. So we are thrilled to have raised this much money for such a wonderful cause. We keep the bids open until 11 o'clock, and we'll keep accepting your money as we try to help out that Stone family. Guys, back to you.
All right, John. Lonnie Chisenhall drills one into the right center field gap. And he heads for second. Chisenhall with his first hit of the night. It is a 1-out double.
First baseman is Matt Laporta.
And that brings up the first baseman, The A's just got another run, still batting in the bottom of the third. Now trailing.
He's going to be leading the league in wins, opponent's batting average, earned run average, strikeouts. Pretty much named the pitching category, and it's Verlander.
I think it's really going to be interesting, Tom, as we go to the wire, whether voters will also consider Verlander as MVP, not just the Cy Young Award winner.
Yeah, I think the only thing that can keep him from being a strong contender is just maybe the bias on the part of the voters that pitchers aren't included in that.
Bergman gets Laporta to look at strike three.
We've seen Michael, throw some fastballs with good velocity the last times he's been here, but not like tonight. Every pitch he's thrown, every fastball has been 96. That last one was 97 miles an hour. Just haven't seen that kind of velocity from Michael, but he's getting it up there tonight.
So the last chance here for the Indians. Kosuke Fukudome, who was singled twice, and that one hits him.
Fortunately for Fukudome, it was a curveball. 82 miles an hour instead of a fastball at 97 miles an hour. It's right in the elbow. Missed his back and got his elbow.
Just the second time for Kosuke to be hit by a pitch. So first and second with 2 outs now for Jason Kipnis. And to second base. Kinsler has it. And the Rangers take game 1 of this 3-game series against Cleveland by a final of 10-4 as Matt Harrison gets his 12th win against 9 losses. David Murphy, 4 hits tonight, including 2 home runs and a double. He scored 4 times and drove in 2. Josh Hamilton, 3 hits, including a 2-run homer. Beltre, a home run. And an all-around effort by the Rangers at all phases as they improve once again to 20 games over 500, 84 and 64. And at the moment,